Oh, snap. Welcome back to the channel, y'all.
How dare you?
My name's Patrick. If you like a true crime, hit the subscribe button, YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button, YouTube. Go ahead and do all the things. TikTok, hit the follow button, tap the screen like crazy. If you like true crime, my name's Patrick. We're live every night. Literally every night, virtually every night, damn near every night. So welcome in, y'all. Let's go. So we're going to talk about a couple of cases. First off, it's the Elisa Lam story. Y'all remember that at the Cecil Hotel? The one that was like the weird footage in the elevator. TikTok, you can see the background right now, but YouTube, yeah, this one with the Cecil Hotel, crazy. We're going to talk about that. Christina Randall did a video about it. So we're going to watch that, followed by TikTok people on TikTok being unalived. What?
You what?
Here we go. You guys ready for this? Let's shrink myself down and let's give it a go. Christina Randall.
Let's just start
At
the
the
beginning.
beginning. Yup. Y'all, make sure you follow Christina Randall. She's amazing. She's pinned down in the description if you're not already. She's got millions of followers. So chances are you probably are. But just in case, go for it. Christina, thank you. Thank you for the big ghost. All right, let's go.
Elisa Lam was born on April 13th of 1991 in Vancouver, Canada, to her parents David and Yenna Lam. David and Yenna were both immigrants and they were from Hong Kong. They moved to Canada and opened a little restaurant in Burnaby, British Columbia. Elisa had a fairly normal childhood from everything that I could find. I mean, she ended up going on to University Hill Secondary School and then the University of British Columbia. In 2010, Elisa grew an interest in blogging, and over the next 2 years, she would post blogs with lots of pictures of things like models and fashion and stories of her life and just like little favorite quotes of hers. In the few posts that she posted that were about her own life, Elisa talked about her struggles with her mental health. She had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and she'd also been diagnosed with depression. Elisa's family mostly kept Elisa's mental struggles private, but from what we do know is that she was on multiple different medications for her mental struggles. But the family allegedly did say that she never had any
Crazy Country Mom, it's the Mystery Project on YouTube. If you guys want to come watch the video with us, the Mystery Project on YouTube. We're live there right now as well.
Any kind of like ideation, like the end it all type of thoughts. Elisa also had a history of not taking her medication. Allegedly, Elisa and her family both say this because they say that she had several incidents of her having hallucinations that would cause her to hide under her bed. She was hospitalized at least once for one of these episodes. However, Elisa was still living a relatively normal life. And if you guys don't know, sometimes these medications, these different mental health medications, we will say like that, they can have adverse effects and all different types of things. But in January of 2013, Elisa, who was 21 years old at this time, decided to take this solo trip around the U.S. West Coast. She was taking a break from her studies in college, and she wanted to explore and see what life was like away from home. This did make Elisa's family a little nervous. They did not really want her to travel alone, like most parents don't.
Right. Cheryl, thank you.
Want their 21-year-olds or daughters or sons to travel around the country alone. However, Elisa made them a compromise. She promised that she would check in with her parents every single day. On January 26th, she arrived in Los Angeles, California, and she had taken an Amtrak train from San Diego.
Well, there's your first problem.
How dare you?
LA? Oh, hell no.
And she was headed to Santa Cruz. 2 days later, Lisa checked into the Cecil Hotel in downtown LA. Now, if you don't know, the Cecil Hotel is located in what we will call a sketchy area, to say the least. It's located right next to LA's Skid Row, which is one of the largest populations of people that are, you can say, houseless, homeless, living in tents. All of those different terms is one of the biggest populations of that in the US. It covers 50 blocks just east of downtown LA and has one of the highest crime rates in all of the US. When I went to LA with my husband at one point, we decided to drive down Skid Row so we could see it for ourselves, and it's truly the
Oh, hell.
videos that you can see online of it do it no justice. When you are driving continuously and it's just tents and tents and tents and boxes and tents, it seems like it goes on forever. The Cecil Hotel itself isn't really considered to be the nicest hotel in the world either, especially back in 2013. However, when it opened in 1924, it was considered a luxury hotel. But then the Great Depression
Oh,
hit and the
hell.
hotel went downhill from there. In 2011, the hotel was renamed Stay on Main. It was 14 stories and had 700 guest rooms available. But by this point, the hotel had quite a past. There were several reported deaths there, ranging from accidental passings, unnatural passings, and even some end-it-alls. There were also numerous reports of guests experiencing
Oh, hell.
paranormal activity. Back in the 1980s,
Dun, dun, dun.
this hotel was the temporary residence of a serial killer named Richard Ramirez, also known
Oh, hell.
as the Night Stalker. According to reports, he committed 14 slayings while he was living there.
Oh, Lord. Y'all hit me with them ghosts. Speaking of ghosts, hit me with them.
Another serial killer, Jack Underwedge, stayed at the Cecil Hotel in 1990.
Frank Underwood? What?
91. While he was there, he ended the lives of at least 3 different women. Also, Elizabeth Short, known as the Black Dahlia, was reportedly seen drinking at the hotel bar in the days before her gruesome demise in 1947. Not even to mention that employees have had plenty
Oh, hell. Little Rock, thank you, Cheryl. Thank you.
of experiences of their own there. The local police officers said that they used to get at least 3 calls every single day from the Cecil Hotel. So I think it goes without saying that there was a lot of, we'll just say, energy at the Cecil Hotel. Now back to
Whoa.
Elisa. When she
Very Hall, thank you, Desiree. Thank
got
you.
there, she was initially assigned a shared room on the 5th floor. However, her roommates complained about her having like this odd behavior. They told the manager that Elisa was leaving them notes that said, "Go home" and "Go away," which gives me the heebie-jeebies in itself. They said that she
Right?
would also lock the door and require that they give her a password before she would unlock it and allow them back into the room. So Elisa was moved to
What?
her own room just 2 days later. When they moved her to her own room, this was room 506. Now, it has also been reported that during her stay, Elisa went to a live taping of the Conan show, but was escorted off the premises due to disruptive behavior.
Oh,
However,
hell.
Elisa had been keeping her promise to her parents by contacting them every single day. And according to them, nothing seemed off about Elisa in all the conversations that they had with her. But then everything changed on the day that Elisa was supposed to check out of the Cecil Hotel. On January
Oh,
31st
no.
of 2013, Elisa had not checked in with her parents. They got really worried and they contacted the Los Angeles Police Department. When the officers arrived, they searched the entire hotel, but they could not find Elisa anywhere. They even brought out scent dogs that were able to track Elisa's scent to a window, but nowhere beyond it. Now, it is important to note that the officers said that they could only search the public areas of the hotel and the rooms that were unoccupied. They couldn't just like bust into every single person's room there and search their room because a young lady, 21-year-old, is
Because they didn't know how many arrests they were going to have to make if they did that.
missing, according to her parents.
Can you imagine?
Right? Now, employees at the hotel, however, say that they only ever saw Elisa alone, so the investigators did not believe that she would be in anyone else's room anyways. Meanwhile, Elisa's family flew in from Canada to help search for her. Now, after searching the hotel and not being able to find Elisa, officers decided to take a look at the hotel's security camera footage. This is when they found
They did all that searching without just looking at the security footage to see maybe where she went?
this truly bizarre footage of Elisa in one of the hotel's elevators acting strange.
Oh Lord, yep. I remember all this footage. Oh Lord, she like hit every button. Oh hell. That is pretty crazy though, that if she has like these issues, why would her parents let her just go to these places completely alone? You know what I mean? Like if you know you have or have had those kind of issues. Kristen, yep, the Cecil Hotel case, exactly. I mean, actually, I know she was an adult. What could they do? But like, maybe I don't know. Talk to her about it. Go with her. Something. I don't know. But just to let her go when you know you have like issues like that. Stella, thank you. Y'all were 80% of the way there. Let's get it. Jared, that's true too. Why is the elevator not closing? It looks like she hit the button right there, like the hold button, or like every button. Music though. Steph Case Files, what you doing up so late? Me too, Steph Case Files. Lindsay, thank you. Oh hell. Fade out.
Authorities released the footage
Oh, Christina Randy scared the hell out of me with that.
to the public in hopes that
Jump right
someone
back
would
in.
recognize Elisa and know where she was.
Samantha, thank
Now,
you.
to say that this
Everyone
video
knows,
went viral would be a complete understatement. Just due to how strangely Elisa was acting in it, it gained millions of views all across the world.
Oh, I remember that. When are you gonna investigate the Cecil? So we were planning on doing it for the show, and we got quoted one price, and then when they saw the following that we had on the Haunted Side YouTube, they like tripled the price. So more than tripled the price. It was crazy as hell. We were like, "What? No, we're not trying to do that. Y'all are crazy as hell."
Online sleuths
So we didn't do it.
were very quick to start trying to figure out what exactly happened to Elisa, and several theories emerged. Some thought Elisa was acting that way because she was trying to escape from someone. Some thought that she was under like some sort of influence, which is what I originally was thinking when I saw this, especially where the hotel is. Like, is she doing something? Was she drinking? Others thought that she may have been having a mental episode, and some even thought that she might have been possessed by a demon. But still, no one
Oh hell.
could find Elisa until on February 19th, 2 weeks after Elisa went missing, a maintenance worker named Santiago Lopez found Elisa's deceased body.
No, Christina Randall, tell the whole story. The guests in the hotel started saying the water looked weird and tasted weird. Tasted weird. Because she was floating in it. Man, catch me on TikTok Live's official TikTok page tomorrow at 9 p.m. Hell yeah. I'll be live probably, but we'll pop in there. We'll see what's going on.
floating in one of the
You got it, Steph Case Files.
hotel's water tanks. The only reason Santiago even thought to look in the water tank was because guests at the hotel had been complaining of low water pressure and a weird taste coming from the tap water. You guys, the details about that.
Good.
Each of these water tanks held 1,000 gallons of water. Now, this
She hit us with the
water was fed straight into the guest rooms, the kitchen, and the coffee shop. According to
Oh God, the coffee shop. Man. Talk about an espresso, y'all. That would be crazy as hell. Can you imagine? You need that as a sound effect. Oh yeah. Oh. By the way, TikTok, hit the follow button if you're new here, and y'all hit me with these little. What's this called? Comet Geo. Hit me with it.
a statement made by the chief of the Los Angeles Fire Department, the tank had to be drained completely and then cut open from the side to remove Elisa's body from it. To this day, no one really knows how Elisa ended up in this tank. But there was, of course, an investigation and several different theories. According to investigators, the last person to see Elisa alive was a woman named Katie. She was the manager of a nearby shop called The Last Bookstore, where Elisa had bought books and music for her family back in Vancouver the day that she went missing. Katie said that Elisa was very outgoing, she was lively, she was very friendly. Nothing about Elisa's behavior seemed off to Katie. This told the investigators
Oh hell.
that it at least seemed like Elisa was, at the very slightest, she was planning on going back home, meaning if she was there this day buying these gifts to take back to her family, then they did not believe that she would be trying to end her own life. Investigators had a nagging problem to solve, though. How did Elisa get onto the roof and into this giant water tank? First
It
of all,
was pretty crazy how she would have even been able to get in there. Bammy Rose, thanks for the comment, dude. Y'all hit me with them.
the doors and the stairs that access the hotel's roof are locked, and any attempt to force them open triggers this alarm that could be heard by the staff and the guests on the top floors. Now, the fire escape could have been the way that Elisa got up there, but remember, earlier I said that the officer brought out scent dogs that did lead them to a window. This window led out onto the fire escape. But how did
Oh, hell.
Elisa get into the water tank? All four of these tanks were
Sip the
4
tea,
foot
Kathy,
by
thank you.
8 foot with heavy latch lids on top. There have been all kinds of different reports about whether or not the hatch lid was open or if it was closed when the maintenance worker found Elisa. In his initial report to the police, he said that it was open, but the hotel claims that they always kept them closed. Investigators say that they did bring scent dogs up to the roof during the initial search, but none of them detected Elisa's scent, which is so bizarre.
That is really weird.
Okay. When the autopsy results came out, because I was so curious, again, in that neighborhood, in that town, did somebody slip something in a drink? Was she drinking? Which any kind of alcohol or substances mixed with certain types of medications or even
Is there even a bar in that hotel?
certain mental illnesses can just be so dangerous. So I'm like, what is in the
Thanks for the follow.
toxicology and the autopsy? However, when this autopsy
TikTok, hit that follow button. If you're new here, my name's Patrick. If you like true crime, we're live every night. Plus, hit me with these little guys. We need 111 of them. Come on.
came out, it only created more questions versus answering all of the ones that people had. The autopsy said that Elisa died as a result of drowning, with her bipolar disorder being a significant contributor in her death. It said that there was
Whoa.
no evidence of
Ella,
trauma,
thank you,
and the
Casey.
toxicology report showed that Elisa had consumed some of her prescription medications, but no illegal substances and
no ethanol.
alcohol. Okay? Therefore, the medical examiner ruled the manner of death as accidental. The
Well, she
full
had
coroner's
ibuprofen, though.
report was released later, and it said that Elisa was found completely
Gracie, thank you,
nude.
Stella, thank
Her
you.
clothing was also found in the tank with her, and it was the same clothing that Elisa was seen wearing in the elevator video that we looked at earlier.
Oh, hell.
The report also said, though, that her clothing was covered in a sand-like material. Elisa's watch and her room key were in the tank as well. So after doing what they considered a thorough investigation, authorities ruled that Elisa had died of accidental drowning. They believed that she was having some sort of mental episode and she climbed into the water tank and she was not able to get back out. They also believed that there was no foul
That's terrifying. Spiritual Diamond, thank you.
play involved. But let's talk about the weird aftermath of this, because this was not just an easy explanation. And strange things kept coming up about Elisa's case.
Oh,
Many
hell.
noticed that the autopsy report was incomplete and it had some inconsistencies to it. This report did not say what the results of Lisa's R kit and her fingernail kit were, or if they were ever even processed. It also says that there was a pooling blood, which some would say was a sign of SA. Also in the autopsy report, it shows that the manner of death had been changed from could not
Oh, wow.
be
Thank
determined
you.
to accidental. Rumors all around say that this medical examiner changed it after receiving pressure from law enforcement. But the examiner says that it was just a clerical error, and that is a huge clerical error to go from
A clerical error?
cannot be determined to okay, we've got it figured out. Nevertheless, there's those sand particles that were found on Elisa's clothing. Where did they come from? Why wasn't she wearing her clothes in the tank in the first place? Another thing, many online sleuths have pointed out that the elevator video of Elisa appears to be altered.
Y'all, come over to YouTube and check this out. Yeah, can you imagine it? Yeah. Angelica, could be something to work there.
Also, very strangely, Elisa's Tumblr blog was updated after she passed away. Her phone was never found after her passing either. Apparently, Tumblr had an option that allowed users to set publish dates for posts in the future, so it was either that or it was that somebody stole her phone and posted on her account. Either way, it was very chilling to see her account updating even after she was gone. Something else that was very strange,
Whoa.
the circumstances of Elisa's passing have been compared to a movie that came out in 2005 called Dark Water. In this movie,
Oh, yep. I remember this.
a mother and a daughter moved into a rundown apartment building. A broken elevator and discolored water eventually left them to the apartment complex's rooftop water tank, where they found the body of a girl who had been reported missing from the building a year prior. How bizarre is that? Remember, this situation with Elisa happened years after this movie came out. Not to mention, many ghost hunters have been to the Cecil Hotel and claimed that there are demonic spirits haunting it. Now, Elisa's
Oh, hell.
parents did file a wrongful death lawsuit in September of 2013 against the hotel, and in it, they claimed that the hotel failed to inspect and seek out hazards in the hotel that presented an unreasonable risk of danger to Elisa and other hotel guests. The hotel argued that they could not have reasonably foreseen that Elisa might have entered these water tanks, and because it was still unknown how Elisa even got into them, no liability could be assigned for failing to present it. In 2005, the lawsuit was dismissed, and still to this day, there are no concrete answers as to what exactly happened to Elisa.
Oh, hell.
So what do I think? Well, I see a lot of opinions are that she had a manic episode and that she crawled up there in her manic episode and went into the tank. However, I do not believe it exactly happened like that.
Uh-oh.
I do not believe in ghosts, but I definitely believe in the spiritual realm, and I definitely believe in demonic entities, and I believe sometimes in certain situations and definitely in certain places, people can be left vulnerable to be affected by those forces. I believe that something else was at play with Elisa. Had there have been
Oh man.
alcohol or substances in her system, I would have thought that there was a really good chance that a mixture of factors led her into that tank. I believe that it's demonic forces. And I believe that because even the elevator situation, see, when she went into that elevator, she was pressing the buttons. That elevator door stayed open for a very long time, like somebody
That's
was
true.
standing in it or somebody was keeping the door open. So many strange things have happened at this hotel. And I can tell you right now, I would sleep in a tent on the side of the road on Skid Row before I stayed in that hotel ever.
What? I'd be way more worried about the actual people than the ghosts and the demons.
That's my personal opinion. That's just, I'm not giving y'all any advice of where to stay.
She has to disclaimer it. I ain't giving y'all advice on where to stay, but
I'm telling you, I would not be staying there at all. I also believe that when her parents were concerned with her traveling alone and they wanted her to check in every day, that seemed like normal parent behavior. You're 21, you're a female by yourself traveling. Call us and check in every day to let us know that you are okay. They did not have somebody following her because she was so fragile with her mental diagnosis that she could do something this off the wall. I just don't see that being the whole picture. I believe that she was affected by something in that hotel. Too many strange things have happened there, and they can't all be a coincidence. What do y'all think?
I mean, y'all tell me. What do you think about that? That is pretty crazy, though. That is pretty crazy. All right, let's move right along. You guys ready for this one? Here we go. Bam. Oh, is this TikTok? Yup. This is the TikTokers, so people on TikTok that were unalived in cold life water. Because you can't even say the B word, which is crazy as hell, right? All right, let's jump into this. See what's going on here. You guys ready?
We're going to be starting out with Claire Miller.
Oh, hell, Claire Miller. By the way, y'all, this is Call Me Chris. She's awesome. Go subscribe to her. You probably already are because she's got like 12 million subscribers or something crazy like that. So go show her some love. She's pinned down in the description just in case you're not following her. These are TikTokers that met their end.
It was the kind of night where everything felt eerily calm, where the silence and the
Oh, hell. It's always those nights. Oh, it's calm as hell out here. Oh, crap. Now it's not. By the way, TikTok, hit the follow button if you're new here and hit me with these guys right here. Comet whatevers. What's that guy's name? Comet something. Hit me with him. Let's get 111. Go, go, go.
suburbs was almost stifling. Underneath that stillness, in a modest home in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Claire Miller was about to make a phone call that would shatter that serenity forever.
Oh, Lord. Non, thank you.
Her voice,
Non-labeled.
trembling
Desiree,
and
thank you.
panicked, echoed through the phone as she spoke to the 911 dispatcher.
I killed my sister.
Oh, 911 is calling her.
And the clock read 1:08 a.m. So let's talk about Claire's backstory. Claire Miller was just like any other teenager in many ways. 14 years old, a sophomore in high school, and glued to her phone as you do. And she found solace in the world of TikTok. What a loser. Just kidding. Under the name Spirit and Such Consulting, she had cultivated a following in the tens of thousands, posting lip syncs, quirky dance routines, and videos that showcased a girl who, on the surface, appeared carefree free and playful. But the screen concealed what lay behind her smiling selfies and perfectly timed TikTok trends. And her family was unique to say the least. Her sister, Helen, had cerebral palsy and was bound to a wheelchair. Helen required constant care, and as a result, much of the family's time and energy revolved around her. Claire, while loving her sister, often found herself in the background. Her role as the able-bodied sibling felt at times like a supporting character in somebody else's life, a life dominated by caregiving and silent sacrifices. And
that's your family. Oh my God, you are crazy as hell. That is your family. You don't feel, oh, it's not about me. Your sister has cerebral palsy. You shut the hell up and you help her. And you do whatever the hell is needed to make sure she has an amazing life. That is crazy as hell. It's not about me. Oh, hell no.
Helen was 19 years old at the time, and Claire's TikTok was her
that is sick.
Her escape. It was her platform and her space to be seen, to be the center of attention.
Oh, that's what it is. You want to be center of attention.
Although she did.
If you did something to your sister, man.
Sometimes put her sister in her TikToks, and people really loved that as well. So even then, some of the spotlight was being taken away from Claire. But TikTok still gave her a sense of validation.
Sounds like Claire's a horrible person and it needed to be taken away from her.
Validation that she didn't feel at home. But the more time Claire spent on TikTok, the further she drifted from people around her. Her parents noticed a big change in her behavior. She became withdrawal, her moods unpredictable. Sounds like just a typical teenage girl to me, personally. But there were whispers in her family about her self-isolation. But Claire kind of kept her feelings bottled up and just pushed them aside and didn't really tell anybody about anything. And
so you wanted attention, but you didn't want to tell anybody about anything. Man, this girl's already very irritating.
To forget everything, she would just hit the record on her phone. And to her growing number of followers, Claire just seemed like any other teen navigating the complexities of adolescence. But as her online persona grew brighter, her real-world self began to fade. Underneath the lighthearted TikToks was a girl who felt increasingly alone, suffocated with the weight of her role in her family and her own internal turmoil. And in the
oh my God.
months leading up to the incident, Claire's TikTok posts became stranger and more cryptic. Some of her videos hinted a deeper emotional struggle, her playful dance routines interrupted by dark, almost haunting lyrics, and her followers did comment on it. But most just brush it aside as like a typical teenaged angst, which I see on TikTok all the time. It's very hard to spot, you know, who's angsty and who's gonna murder one of their
what?
family members. But the true
oh hell no, you better not.
Depths of pain and anger would only become evident later on the night of February 22nd, 2021 to be specific. So on that night, Claire was feeling very restless, haunted by nightmares and weird visions of people talking to her in her sleep, almost like demons of sorts that she claims, and that would cause her to get up in the middle of the night and walk over to her sister's room, Helen, who was peacefully sleeping in her bedroom. And no one knows exactly what was racing through Claire's mind in those moments before she picked up the knife. No one can truly understand the exact emotions that twisted through her as she stood over her sleeping sister.
She was selfish and sick and ridiculous.
Was it anger? Was it jealousy or desperation? We don't know, and we probably
stupidity. I'll go with that, with the latter. Daydreamer, thank you for those guys. Y'all, we need to hit those real quick. Y'all hit me with those things. Be Red, what you doing?
We won't ever know. But
yeah, evil, non-labeled, exactly. Ironically, you labeled her, even though you're non-labeled.
In a flash of violence, Claire's world would change forever. She would bring down the knife on her sister, who was still sleeping in her wheelchair, and she would stab her to death. And
oh my God, you sick person.
After the attack, Claire just stood there, breathless. Her body moved on almost an autopilot as she grabbed the phone and dialed 911. And her voice cracked as she told the dispatcher the unthinkable, "I killed my sister." And there
Oh my God.
There's no attempt to flee, no grand cover-up, just a chilling confession and desperate plea for help. And when the police arrived, Claire was
Plea for help.
outside, her hands and clothes
She's 19? Did she say she was 19 or 21?
wet with her own sister's blood, and her face
Oh,
was just
God.
masked with shock, as though she herself couldn't fully comprehend what she had just done. And inside the house, officers found Helen
Oh, you 100% could.
deceased. It was much too late to save her life, unfortunately. And news of the murder quickly spread, drawing attention from across the nation. Claire Miller wasn't
What did the parents say?
just any teenager. She was a TikTok
They lost both kids.
personality. Her account, Spirits and Such Consulting, had grown in the aftermath of the crime as well, with thousands more flocking to her page, which is so f***ed up. Searching for answers in her videos. But even her following count grew like enormously, which is strange. But the comment sections were flooded with disbelief, speculation, and just morbid curiosity. How could a girl who had posted dance videos, harmless dance videos and TikTok trends, be capable of such violence?
Because she's crazy.
And at such a young age as well. And Claire's
Because she's selfish and crazy.
arrest and trial became a media spectacle, not just because of the brutality of the crime, but because of
When did this happen?
the complexity of her mental state during the crime. She was only 14 years old, but was being charged as an adult under Pennsylvania law.
Good. Rotten prison and then burn in hell. Jerry, wait, why was she sleeping in her wheelchair? That's a good question. They said the sister was sleeping in her wheelchair.
How dare you?
Why was she sleeping in the wheelchair?
Which is not common.
She is being charged as an adult with homicide. Her arraignment is soon at a local district justice office.
So the courtroom was just filled with tension that weighed on everyone who watched the proceedings unfold. And Claire's defense team argued that she was mentally ill, suffering
No, she was mentally. Are you? Oh my! I'm so sick of these people saying, "I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't mentally capable of understanding. I was this and that." Of course you were, because most people that are not would never, ever, ever consider doing something like that. That's what's killing me lately. What? Oh, I couldn't understand the consequences of my actions. BS. Burn in hell.
from severe psychological distress that clouded her judgment of the night of the murder. But psychiatrists would examine her, combing through her mind for answers, but the results were inconclusive. While it was clear
Oh, hell.
she was deeply disturbed, she wasn't considered legally insane at the time of the crime. And
Of course not, because she wasn't.
as the defense lawyer pushed for her case to be transferred to juvenile court, Claire would just sit quietly, her face in a blank slate, as if the enormity of her actions hadn't fully sunk in. But despite the psychological evaluations and countless court hearings, the motive behind Claire's actions remained murky. She never provided a clear reason for why she had killed Helen.
You know exactly why. She got tired of her sister getting all the attention. She got tired of having to help her sister. She got tired of her not being the spectacle and all that. And so she said, I'm just going to handle that.
Her sister. And any details from her mental
Hello, thank you. Y'all hit me with them. Come on, we got like 30 left. Hit me with those little things. Comment GO.
health evaluations were kept private, leaving the public just
Yeah, because they were normal as hell.
to speculate on their own. So was it the strain of caring for her sister, the pressure of
Yes.
adolescence compounded by TikTok fame?
No, because every single one of us goes through the pressure of adolescence, and thankfully not, but like a very, 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 very small, like very small amount of people take someone's life.
Or something
And something that we all do. We all go through adolescence, teenage years. Yeah, sometimes it could be tough, but the overwhelming majority of us know not to take your own sister's life. Now, rot in prison and burn in hell, you crazy person.
even deeper hidden beneath the layers of emotional trauma. Again, we'll
Let's see,
probably
thank you.
never know. So in March of 2023,
We'll probably never know. No, we know. We know.
Claire Miller pleaded guilty to third-degree murder.
Third degree?
And the court determined while she was mentally ill, she was not legally insane. So she was sentenced to
Oh, God. Sentence to life. Say it.
A prison term ranging from 12.5 to 40 years. And her TikTok account, once a source of pride and validation, had been removed from the platform, but not before it had amassed a larger following in the wake of the tragedy. And this raised unsettling questions about the role social media played in her life and the lives of countless other teens navigating their formative years under the scrutiny of a virtual audience. And Claire would also petition to have her case moved to juvenile court, but it was declined.
Of course it was declined, because you crazy as hell.
July of 2022. But yeah, I mean, that's the story of Claire Miller, and it's so...
Let's cross. Thank you. Thanks for the big ghost. Y'all, come on. We need the comment guy, though. Let's hit it, y'all. Come on, about 20 left.
So devastating and sad, and it's kind of unnerving not to know exactly why it happened. I mean,
you know why it happened.
Clearly,
we all know why it happened.
Disturbed and not in her right mind, but
yeah, because anybody who takes someone else's life is disturbed and not in their right mind.
I don't know. It's just it's nightmare fuel. But that brings us to our next TikToker, Maryanne.
Oh God, who's the next TikToker, y'all? There's many of them. Lindsay, thank you.
Maryanne Oliver-Snow.
Maryanne Oliver-Snow.
So the living room was warm, a soft glow from the TV flickering across the faces of Helen Hastings and Maryanne Oliver-Snow. Around them, laughter filled the air as a group of friends gathered on a lazy Houston evening, watching an episode of Gotham. Bottles of
oh hell, Houston? You what? Yep.
Vodka and Dr. Pepper sat half empty.
Vodka and Dr. Pepper. Man, y'all crazy as hell for that.
On the table, mixing with the faint scent of cigarette smoke in the air. The camaraderie was palpable.
Y'all, you want to know a crazy fact about me? I have never smoked a cigarette in my life. I've never even held a lit cigarette ever in my life. Not one time ever in my life. If you're proud of me, put a thumbs up in the chat.
The kind only found in close-knit circles of young adults who shared a love for the same odd, dark worlds, anime, cosplay, and the bizarre characters of video games. And Maryanne,
what?
Known online to thousands as Yondir Freak or Snow the Salt Queen, was the undeniable star of the room. Draped in her usual cosplay-inspired clothing, she...
Oh no. Did she do the unaliving, or did some crazy person unalive her?
Gestured excitedly at the TV and said, "I've got a gun like that." And she would laugh drunkenly. The others laughed too, none of them realizing that what began as a joke would soon turn into a nightmare. And Helen Hastings...
Oh hell, you crazy.
This was one of the friends in the room with Maryanne.
Was one of the friends in the room? Oh no, that was past tense.
At the time was 18 years old and brimming with potential. She was on her break from freshman year at Oberlin College, a brilliant line caught between the disciplines of art, psychology, and neurobiology. Helen...
Art, psychology, and neurobiology? You what? That's a crazy college. Look, you either do art, you do psychology, or you do neurobiology. That's it.
Truly had a future that was boundless, and her passion for creativity stretched beyond the classroom, spilling into the colorful, chaotic world of cosplay. And it was here in the subculture where people became someone or something else that Helen found an outlet for her imagination and a community that welcomed her in all her uniqueness. And among her friends in Houston, Maryanne was one of the closest. And despite the 5-year age gap, their shared...
Hey, I know what that is. What are you doing wearing those things? Oh, no. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Rhymes with fondage.
Shared love of cosplay, dark humor, and anime bonded them. And Maryanne had become somewhat of an online sensation, amassing thousands of followers on TikTok for her portrayal of intricate, often sinister characters, and Helen admired that about her. But beyond the cosplay costumes and playful online personas, Helen faced her own battles. Behind the bright smile and creative mind, she struggled with anxiety and depression, and cosplay offered her that escape. But
oh, Lord.
Sometimes even the costumes...
The Miller, thank you! We're almost there, y'all. Let's get it.
Couldn't keep that darkness at bay. And for Maryanne, cosplay
like 6 left.
Was more than just a hobby. It was a way to express parts of herself that otherwise felt disconnected. And her online persona, Yondir Freak, was infamous for embracing characters who walked the line between innocence and malevolence. One of her most notable...
Oh, hell. Stella Sin, the Millers, thank you.
Cosplays was Junko Enoshima. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. A character from the game Danganronpa. Also sorry if I'm saying that wrong.
What in the hell? I don't know what any of that is.
A villain with a penchant for chaos,
A villain?
danger, and manipulation. And the blurred line between Maryanne's online identity and her real self was becoming more apparent to those around her.
Oh, Lord. Y'all hit me with the kitties. Which kitty?
Characters she embodies were often really dark, chaotic figures, and there were moments when her friends wondered if Snow knew where the act ended and where her true self began. She was going method with it, a little too method with it, but no one really...
Oh, Lord. Sin, the Miller, thank you, Sin.
Dared speak about it. Everybody kind of walked on eggshells around her because of her internet fame. And then the night of January 17th, 2021 would come around. And it started like any other casual night among friends. Helen and Maryanne, along with a few other friends, gathered at Snow's place, watching Gotham and sipping vodka with Dr. Pepper. Gross. And the show's dark...
Yeah, that's what... Gross. That does sound horrible. Vodka and Dr. Pepper. It's SoCo in Dr. Pepper. That's what you're supposed to drink. Bacardi in Dr. Pepper. Vodka, though? Man, you sound crazy as hell.
Moody themes were a perfect backdrop to their shared love of sinister characters. And as the night wore on, the alcohol flowed more freely. That's never good. And the group naturally became rowdier. And at some point, the conversation...
Oh, they got rowdy as hell. If you get vanilla vodka and you put that in Coke, that's good. It's like a vanilla Coke vodka. That's good.
Shifted to props. And Maryanne, excited by the gun used in the show, mentioned that she had a real firearm, one that her ex-boyfriend had left behind. But the gun wasn't loaded. She assured her friends that he had...
Oh, hell, yes it is. Yes, it is. Oh, no.
Had removed the magazine. Not People's Magazine or something like that.
So there's one in the chamber. Oh, here we go.
That there's a thing that goes in the gun that has the bullets in it. She said it was removed. So there was no danger and no reason to worry. So Snow left the room and returned moments later with the gun in her hands. The others
You're
laughed
an
nervously.
idiot. If you are drinking, there is no firearms. If you are drinking, there is no firearms. Firearms? As long as there's no drinking. Drinking and firearms? You crazy as hell!
Snow aimed it playfully at all of her friends.
Oh,
It's
God.
just the biggest no-no in the world. But she was mimicking the characters on the TV show. And Helen always...
Oh, great idea. Why don't you mimic someone that has some common sense, you idiot?
One for adventure, joked along, with the rest reportedly saying, "Ooh, do me next, do me next." Her words were filled with humor, the kind that made sense in the context of the night. Friends just playing pretend, just like in their cosplays.
Until you're not, and then you spend your life in jail.
But the next moment wasn't pretend, because when Snow pulled the trigger, a deafening crack would split the air, and the laughter would die immediately.
And so would her friend.
A single bullet, unseen but very, very real, was chambered in the gun, and it struck Helen in the head, and she would collapse to the floor immediately. And the room...
Oh, gee, imagine that.
...would turn into cold and shock.
What a bunch of morons.
Laughter and joking dissipated in an instant and was replaced...
I hope they charged every single person there.
...with sound of frantic shouts, hands trembling as they tried to stop the bleeding in Helen's head. Someone would actually grab a stuffed animal and try to stop the bleeding, but unfortunately it was futile. And as panic just swept the room, someone fumbled on their phone and dialed 911, their voice barely audible through the sobs. And Maryanne Snow just stood frozen, her face masked with disbelief. And she would say, "I thought it wasn't loaded." And she just kept repeating this over and over, as though the
Well, you thought wrong. Now rot in prison, you...
words could somehow undo what just happened. It just makes me sick. The paramedics would arrive within minutes, rushing Helen to the hospital, where she was placed on life support. And for 2 days,
She was still alive?
family and friends held on to hope, praying for
Desiree, thank you. Stella, thank
a
you.
miracle. But on January 19th, 2021, after doctors confirmed there was no chance of recovery, Helen was removed from life support and she was deceased. And in the
this person became an unaliver.
weeks that followed, Maryanne would be charged with manslaughter. And the prosecution argued that Snow had acted recklessly, handling a deadly weapon under the influence.
Ding, 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 ding.
Without checking if it was truly safe, which is 100% true and unacceptable and unacceptable. And Maryanne's defense was rooted in the idea that it was an accident and it was a tragic mistake.
Yeah, but an accident you could have avoided by doing the right thing to begin with. Accountability. Accountability. You are the person that got the thing and brought it out and started pointing it at people. Loaded or unloaded, that is a horrible decision. Equally as horrible. Even if it was completely unloaded, still equally as horrible of a decision. And now you have to suffer the consequences for being reckless.
Which we all would like to assume that that is the case, and I'm sure it is. She had been told that the gun was unloaded, and she had no intention of harming her friend. And as a
Oh my God, you were told the guy? Yeah, we were told Santa Claus comes down our chimney and delivers presents. Oh my God, we were told to drive 60 miles an hour when the sign says 60 miles an hour.
You what?
Do y'all drive 60 miles an hour when the sign says 60 miles an hour?
case unfolded, questions of negligence and responsibility filled the courtroom. Could someone be held accountable?
Y'all, TikTok, I'm mad as hell. Can y'all subscribe to cool me down a little bit, calm me down? Join the sub-only lives. Do all the things, y'all, right there. Help me reach the goal. We're trying to get to 120. We need 11 people to cool me down right now. I'm getting angry at this. This one is making me mad. Y'all, come on. Click that, join, or click my face and hit that big red subscribe button. Get them sub-only lives, y'all.
For such a horrific accident when they truly believed there was no danger? Where did the line between innocent mistake and criminal behavior?
Did you think it was a water? Did you think it was a Nerf? No. Then there was danger, you idiot.
Fall. And for her part, Maryanne showed deep remorse, cooperating fully with the law enforcement. But the case was far from simple. And as of the last reports, Snow had not yet entered a formal plea. And the legal battle ahead was murky, as it often is in cases of accidental death. And in the aftermath of
accident? That's not an accident. Well, technically it's an accident, but it could have very well been avoided.
Helen's death, Maryanne's online persona came under intense scrutiny. Known for embodying dark, villainous characters, her followers now questioned if the line between Snow's real life and her cosplays had been blurred beyond recognition. She continued to post online, though, and her TikTok and Instagram pages were still active. But the content struck many as inappropriate given the gravity of the situation, which is fair. Read the room. Pretty easy. Videos portraying violent themes and dark humor that once felt like an extension of her cosplay now seemed very chilling, raising ethical questions about the behavior of influencers in the wake of tragedy. Like, was she grieving or hiding behind her online identity to avoid facing reality of what happened? I don't know. And the cosplay community was just like split in half after this happened. Some members expressed sorrow, standing by Snow, understanding that it had been an accident, and others were less forgiving, seeing the accident as a failure of responsibility.
Ding, ding, ding. Exactly.
Which, I mean, you know, it's both, in my opinion. So Oliver-Snow...
No, it's definitely her fault.
Has been free on bond since the manslaughter charge on January 18th, 2021. And they were indicted by Harris County grand jury on second-degree murder felony manslaughter charge.
That's right, thank you.
In April 2021 and remained free on bail pending trial. And despite the events that occurred, like I said, she remained active on TikTok until they made their account private in response to all the backlash in
You are crazy as hell.
the cosplay community. And upon their return to Instagram, cosplaying communities don't seem to take their return too lightly there either. A lot of people are seeing it as like disrespect. And Oliver-Snow was allowed to post bail and was ordered to stay in the state afterwards. However, court records indicate that Oliver-Snow violated the terms of their bond throughout August of that year, missing a
Bro, almost like she doesn't take accountability and thinks the rules don't apply to her.
You what?
Oh, wow. I can't believe that.
trial date related to the case, violating curfew and allowing the battery on the GPS tracking device on her to die. Nevertheless, the influencer appears to have been permitted to remain within the state as they continue to create online content, even after everything that happened. So yeah, that one is like a toss-up. Like, obviously it's
a toss-up. No, that she needs to go to prison. She needs to go to prison. That is crazy as hell.
I mean, you'd hope that it was just a horrible accident.
Yeah, but a horrible accident that's very easily avoided.
But the way that they acted afterwards was strange, I guess. But I don't know. Like, everyone acts different after tragedy. Some people just want to go through their life.
But it's not tragedy for her because she did it. I mean, it's tragic what happened, but she did it. She's solely responsible for doing it.
It's like
it's not like it was a car wreck or something like that.
Nothing ever happened, and everybody deals with it differently. So I'm not here to judge or anything like that. I'm just kind of saying the story.
I'll judge for you. That girl needs to be behind bars to learn a lesson because that is crazy as hell.
But yeah, that one's kind of still up in the air.
You what?
Up in the air.
But that brings us to our final one, which has been extremely recently, and that is Terion Thomas, aka Mr. Prada.
Mr. Prada? Who is this?
So the night was too quiet for a city like Baton Rouge, and yet the sound
hell, not Louisiana.
Of rubber soles dragging across a concrete floor echoed in the dimly lit hallway of Terion Thomas's apartment building. His hands, slick with sweat, struggled to grip the corners of the heavy tarp that concealed the lifeless form inside. His breath came in short, frantic bursts. His eyes darted to the stairwell, then back to the mess he had made. He hadn't planned for this. Not tonight, not like this. But nothing had gone according to plan since he became Mr. Prada. So Terion Thomas never set out to be famous, at least not famous like this. Growing up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, he was just another young man with dreams of making it out, of being seen, or of being somebody. His family loved him, sure, but love wasn't enough to fill the gnawing void inside of him. The same
He said, "Mom, I know you love me, but I don't care. I need hundreds of thousands of people to give me likes and stuff. Your love means nothing to me."
Void that pushed him to upload his first TikTok video. And the platform was perfect for him. Quick, effortless, and flashy. His early content was simple. Recreations of trending challenges, meme dances, and lip syncs. And his profile grew steadily. And so did the praise. Terion became Mr. Prada. The nickname, an ironic twist. He had never owned anything from Prada, but his online persona oozed a confidence that screamed luxury. And it wasn't long before people started to recognize him on the street, greeting him with laughter.
Oozed presence that scream luxury. Oh God.
Emotional damage.
And inside jokes from his videos. But as his follower count skyrocketed, so did the pressure to keep producing. And the love was addictive, but
oh my God, it's hard to make content.
Fleeting as well. His new fans wanted more and demanded more. One viral video wasn't enough. They wanted daily doses of Mr. Prada. Fresh content, wittier jokes, edgier stunts. And when the content wasn't new enough, the trolls would come out. The trolls just up the side of the bridge.
Oh my God, you mean the internet?
And the turning point came when well-known TikToker called him out for stealing his content. And
see, there you go.
The video went viral, more viral than any of his. And a side-by-side comparison of one of Terion's popular posts next to the original's creator's work was mass spread. And it was bad. It was literally the exact same. And Terion tried to laugh it off, tried to act like it didn't matter. He posted a video of himself looking smug, declaring, "Mr. Prada, unbothered. Y'all still watching me?" And his fans laughed and the views rolled in. But behind the scenes, the comments were cutting deeper. Words like fake, unoriginal, copycat flooded his notifications. And the memes mocking his work ethic spread faster than his own videos. And with each hateful comment, something inside Terion shifted. His once carefree smile turned into something darker and something a lot more desperate. The fame he had once craved now felt like a noose tightening around his neck. And in a last-ditch effort to reinvent himself, he posted increasingly erratic content. He shaved his head on camera, claimed he was done with TikTok, only to return hours later. Then came the cryptic videos.
Oh God, the classic, I'm out of here, I'm leaving, because people say I'm fake because I fake something. Oh my God.
Shots of his empty apartment, shadows flickering in the corners, and the infamous post would later come back to haunt him. Practicing for my mugshot. His audience was amused by it, and no one really took him seriously when they probably should have. So Terion's transformation was
oh hell, what did he do?
Almost complete, though no one could have guessed where he was headed. The lines between his TikTok persona and his real life started to get blurred, the attention both feeding and poisoning him. He wasn't Mr. Prada anymore, not even Terion Thomas. He was a mess of insecurities, ego, anger, and barely held together by the flickering light of his phone screen. So it was the evening of September 28th, 2024, and the air outside Terion's
September 28th, 2020, that's a month ago.
Apartment was thick with humidity, a suffocating weight that pressed against the windows. And inside, the lights flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced across the walls. And Terion paced to the floor, the sound of his footsteps quickening with each turn. And then there was a knock at the door. William Nicholas Abraham had just arrived. What brought him there that night was a mystery, perhaps an old grudge, perhaps something more sinister. Whatever the reason, William's presence in Terion's apartment would soon take a deadly turn. Terion had grown increasingly paranoid in the
Oh my God. Can your jeans get any tighter?
weeks leading up to the murder. Every glance from a stranger, every whisper felt like a threat. His online persona had consumed him, and now, offline, he didn't know who he could trust. He had lost friends, distanced himself from family, and spent more and more time locked in his apartment, where the walls seemed to close in a little tighter each day. And William entered that night.
This dude is crazy.
Without a struggle. At first, their conversation was strained but civil. They talked about TikTok and the pressures of maintaining a brand, but as the night wore on, something shifted. Maybe it was the lingering tension, or maybe it was the way William looked at him, like he was just another washed-up TikToker waiting to be forgotten. I've gotten that look before. But the details of the murder remained fuzzy, obscured by Terion's frantic, broken recollection. But what is clear is that, in a fit of rage, Terion snapped. The apartment's walls bore witness to the struggle. Bloodstains splattering across the stark white paint, and William's body laid crumpled on the floor, lifeless. And the quiet that followed was
oh my God,
deafening. Terion stood over William, his chest heaving, blood staining his hands, and his mind just raced, replaying the scenes in slow motion in his head. But there was really no making sense of it. And Terion's next moves were completely fueled by panic. He would drag William's body across the floor, leaving a blood trail in his wake. And he grabbed a tarp. Where he found it, he said he couldn't remember, and he tried to wrap the body.
You can't remember where you found a tarp inside of your apartment? Why the heck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop heckin' lying.
Body as fast as he could, with his
what an idiot.
Hands shaking. He had no plan, no strategy, only a desperate need.
Tara, thank you so much. We about to hit it too. Come on, y'all. Let's crush that real quick. We're close.
To do what needed to be done. And security footage would later capture him dragging the body down the stairs. His movements were very erratic as he was teetering on the edge of collapse. He dumped the body into William's car and drove off into the night, not knowing where he was going, just knowing he had to get away. And news would break the next morning. TikTok star Mr. Prada wanted for murder. And social.
Oh, God. So I only have 7.5 rows of stickers. It says Patrick has to put them in. Wait, what?
Social media exploded. Fans couldn't
What happened?
Believe some claimed it was a hoax, and others were quick to vilify him. And Terion was already on the run, driving aimlessly through the city. His mind was a chaotic mess of fear and delusion, and he switched cars somewhere along the way, trying to cover his tracks, but it was too late, and the authorities were closing in. And Terion's arrest in Dallas, Texas was swift and without drama. When the police found him, he was hunched over in the front seat, eyes vacant and hands trembling. And the man who had once basked in the limelight of TikTok fame now looked hollow. And as they cuffed him, Terion didn't resist. He had nothing left to fight for. The fame, the followers, the views, none of it really mattered anymore. And his final viral moment would be his mugshot. And the world would remember him as not Mr. Prada, but as a killer. But
Mr. Prison.
Let's talk about who Dr. Abraham is, because I think that is interesting and important as well. So Abraham, the person that Mr. Prada had murdered, was a familiar face in Baton Rouge, having appeared on cable television, and was a mental health therapist. But there was a former accusation of a patient.
So I only have 7.5 rows of stickers that says Patrick has to put them in. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Yeah, Mr. Prison, exactly.
In 2015, Abraham was accused of SAing an 11-year-old boy during a counseling session.
Oh, hell, you gonna burn in hell for that? Hold up, maybe the dude deserved it.
AFB reported, and the boy was allegedly so upset.
Maybe it was self-defense. Maybe I was quick to jump to conclusions. The emotes? What about them?
Said after the session that he told his family he never wanted to see Abraham again. And during the session with a new counselor, the boy told his new counselor about the alleged SA by Abraham. And Abraham was arrested at the time and booked into the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison, where he was later released after posting bail of $25,000, as records show. However, prosecutors didn't bring the case to trial. And it would be said, while there was probable cause for an arrest, my office had to determine if the evidence supported our burden at trial, which is proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
Oh, the stickers aren't working? Oh, we need a kitty toss. Oh, where I'm like moving her to the side. I see what you're saying. Now it makes sense.
Attorney Hiller Moore told WAFB, "This matter was under review by my office for approximately 2 years. After considering all the evidence, the best interest of the child, and the lack of any inculpatory statements by the arrestee, we declined to institute formal charges." Ambo represented Abraham in the 2015 case and said Thomas was not the alleged victim in the case. "It's unequivocally not him," Ambo would tell WAFB. And the relationship between Thomas and Abraham, as well as a motive, are still under investigation. Officials say that they do not believe Thomas was an actual client of the victim, which is interesting. Like, why would they meet up? They didn't know each other at all. He went to his house. They had a discussion of
if he went to his house, they knew each other.
Of what seemed to be about his mental health.
Maybe they met on an app. I mean, maybe they met on an app. I don't know. People meet on apps all the time.
But he wasn't a client at all, so like, how did they meet? Did Thomas know somebody that may have been essayed by this person and acted out against that? Or was it just a freak incident? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of questions. And as of October 8th, 2024, charges have been upgraded against Terion. 20-year-old Thomas was originally charged with second-degree murder and obstruction of justice in the death of Dr. Nick Abraham, who was 69 at the time. And the charge would be upgraded to first-degree murder under Louisiana law that allows the more serious charge when the offender has the specific intent to kill or inflict great bodily harm upon a victim who is under the age of 12 or 65 years age or older. What? Who is under the age of 12 or 65 years of age or older.
So somebody who's under 12 or over 65.
Interesting. So that in between them, it's not? That's very strange. So if you're in between that...
Because it's either really sick because it's a child or really sick because it's an elderly person.
You're like, second degree? That's interesting. I don't understand that, but that's what news outlets reported. And the new charge makes the case eligible for the death penalty in the event of an actual conviction, and should prosecutors decide to pursue that case strategy. And as the world watched Terion's fall from grace, social media was abuzz with hot takes and conspiracy theories. Some said the fame had driven him mad. Others claimed it was all a setup, that Terion was totally innocent. But in the court of public opinion, he was already
all a setup.
guilty. And the TikTok persona he had so carefully crafted had become his undoing. His rise had been meteoric, but his fall was even swifter, leaving behind a trail of blood, lies, and broken dreams. So that is all we have on Terion Thomas. Interested to see where that case goes and everything. There's a lot of questions. It's very strange, especially it's like such a young age to just like snap like that on supposedly someone you don't know. It's just like not that common, and to have no motive is so strange as well. So I don't know. I'm interested.
Oh, there's a motive. All right.
Interested to hear more about the case, but I mean, man, it's a crazy world out there. Everybody gotta stay safe, and I mean, keep your mental health in check. That is the most important thing. That is the most important thing. If you're on TikTok, if you're on YouTube, if you're on anything, just make sure to take a step back. Go touch some grass, okay? Get off here, or take me with you outside. Go touch some grass, all right? And have a snack. But I hope you enjoyed hearing about all these cases. Very interesting. I think if you have any other cases, let me know down below.
Oh my God. Yep, that is crazy as hell. Unfreaking believable. TikTok, I love you guys. Did we hit the last goal? The witchy kitties? Y'all hit me with them. YouTube, I love you guys. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button before you leave. I don't think we got 100 likes, did we? 86. Y'all, we need 14 more people to hit that like button before you guys go. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I love you guys. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.